Hello there, sword friends. Today I'm going to do an unboxing and first impressions for you about this sword, or whatever is in this box. I think I know what's in the box. I believe it is a Musashi or Musha branded sword that's got swirly mitsudomes on it, and one that I am particularly excited to talk about or look at because it's super inexpensive, super affordable, at least as the swords go. Now, I looked around and I think this is about $50, a little less, a little more. It probably doesn't include shipping, so prices may vary somewhat, but suffice to say it is a very budget-conscious option and something I'm excited to see. What exactly can you get if you're on a hyper-conscious budget? If you have $50 to spend on a sword, what can you get that still is bedazzled with swirly mitsudomes? That's, I guess, my personal little ad, but what kind of sword can you get for $50? So I guess let's find out. Always remember to cut directly towards your neck. That's knife safety right there. Smells like new sword. One thing to note is that this is a Musha branded sword, and maybe that makes a difference to you, maybe it doesn't. I often see them marketed as Musashi swords, but no, I guess it's coming in a box that says Musha. A couple of notes on the packaging here, something that I maybe talk about more than other people do. Packaging is something that I think about on a day-to-day basis with my day job, but there are some interesting notes here. One, the black cellophane that was wrapped around it worked. It's raining outside. It was sitting in a puddle when I got home, and it's dry, and I don't see any damage. Two, the packaging, the corrugate, the cardboard around it did the job. It's got little foam inserts here, and all in all, it seems to have arrived in safe condition. It's not damaged. The box isn't damaged in any way, so the packaging isn't elaborate. It's not terribly expensive. I wouldn't expect it to be at a price like this, but it's important for me to look at. If I see really elaborate, really time-consuming packaging, then I know that that cost money, and that's money that didn't go into the product. So this packaging did its job. It made it to my door safe and dry and in good shape overall, and it doesn't look like they spent a ton of money on it, which means all of those $50 you would be spending on a sword are in the sword itself, or at least more of them are. Then no useless dollars were spent on the packaging, I suppose. But the packaging does a good job. Anyway, it came with this little card. It says here's how you clean stuff, and it says some fun facts. The Musha line was created to cater the needs of budget-minded collectors and real practitioners who don't wish to abuse their high-end swords in practicing every day but won't settle on quality. Forged with the same spirit as our Musashi line, Musha swords are made using 1045 carbon steel for quality, practicality, and value. Musha is hard to beat. Well, I am going to beat the shit out of it. As is customary, there will be a review to follow this kind of first impression video, where I will break the sword and see what it takes. The bag is good. It's got a little cardboard dust on it. Nothing bad. Hey there.
When you're done recording and stuff, and when I'm done with my homework, do you want to play Minecraft?
You're damn right I do. What do we have here? Okay. Well, this is not the one with swirly mitsudomes put on it, but it is still the other one. There were two swords that had the $50 price point. One is this one, which is actually something very similar to something I've had before in terms of a $50 sword, but it has the Musashi double ring Tsuba. In any case, I was a little bit more excited about the one with swirly mitsudomes, but as it is a review sample, I cannot bitch and moan. That, I suppose, is another thing I should mention. Musashi sent these swords to me for the purposes of review, not swords, sword. Musashi sent me this sword for the purposes of review. So it's a review sample. I got it for free. I didn't pay my own money. I reached out and said I was excited to review a $50 sword, and they said, "Are you sure?" And I said yes. So that wasn't the exact verbatim of the conversation, but in effect, I was very excited to review a $50 sword. That's really just about it. I asked to do it, and they sent me and obliged by sending the sample. I provided two examples of $50 swords I would like. I said I was a little bit more excited about the Mitsudome one, and I thought that's what was being sent, but I'm not going to bitch and moan. Simple fittings. There's some small stains on the patina. This looks like the brass is starting to turn green a little bit. Adds a little texture to me. The fittings aren't super great. Again, $50, not expecting a lot. The ito is loose in a way that is probably not going to hold up super well over time, but it appears to be like cotton or something real. The samegao under here is obviously fake, kind of visibly fake to the naked eye, but still it's mimicking samegao as opposed to not even trying. There's little imperfections on here in terms of like the samegao is got little chunks that are kind of coming out from where the makugi is, but it's got 2 makugi. The suba is tight. The saya, it rattles a little bit, not a lot. It's reasonably tight. It's got a metal koiguchi on here, which I guess is nice. The wood is probably not a super durable wood, so having metal is likely helpful for safety. No horn parts, wood kurikata, no kojiri on the end here, but a metal koiguchi. Koiguchi, can't remember the right name for it. And the sageo is synthetic stuff, nothing special. The S word. It's actually a surprisingly comfortable little sword to use. Pretty light. I'm not sure what the kind of wants to move forward. It's got a little presence, but still at the same time light. It looks like it's coated in some wax and has a wire brushed kind of hamon. This is obviously fake. It's a 1045 blade, I believe, is what it's listed as. It's got a bohi in it, and this hamon on here is not genuine. It is a synthetic hamon. Reasonably sharp. And overall, fine little sword. For $50, the habaki's on there and tight-ish. Things are tight. It's stuck a little. Oh, this koiguchi, this metal bit here, is also pretty flexible. Comes loose pretty easy. I can just pull it right off. I'm not going to though. It seems like something a little dab of glue might fix. And for $50, you got to temper your expectations. But what I do see here is the paint is, it's not as thick a lacquer or anything, but it's not cracked or broken or damaged. What I do see is a small stain. You might not be able to see it very well with the camera here, which is probably a good thing if you don't see it well. It's basically the lacquer's not chipped in the side, but there is a stain in the coloration. Overall, though, it's arrived in pretty good shape. I can't really bitch and moan. My impressions overall of a $50 sword, I'm not expecting a whole lot for $50, and this is not a whole lot of sword. But what it is a sword. It has all of the components that a sword typically would. It's in the shape of one. It seems to have a reasonable edge, and all of the important bits seem to be functional at the moment. So that in itself is somewhat cool, that for $50 you can buy something like this. I think it's pretty cool anyway. So we will see how well it holds up. I mean, obviously I can say fresh out of the box, a brand new sword. It's looks like a sword, but does it act like one? We'll have to find out later. In effect, though, I think it is pretty cool that you can get something like this for $50. I am disappointed it does not have a bunch of swirly midstones on it, but that is a theme that is only preferential really to me. So it's not that big a deal. It is still a $50 sword, which I can tell you how well it does or does not work, and I guess stay tuned to see how well it does or does not work. Anyway, that's all I got for you this time. Cheers, and thanks for watching.